help people think about their relationships and where they are in life. And I'm a husband, I'm a father, and a down-to-earth man. But I'm educated, but I'm still real. I'm 100% real. Never going to change. I'm always going to be Scotty from Stonebridge. No matter how educated and no matter where I get to, I'm always going to remain true to my roots.
I like that. I like that. I like that. Thank you very much. So focusing on where you both are now, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
And I'll start with you, Scotty. How did it all begin for you?
It's a story of two halves, isn't it? Because like growing up in Stonebridge, from the age of 13 to about 30, you know, I lived a pro-criminal life. The road was what I did, isn't it? I quite enjoyed it. I was quite good at it. I was quite entertained by it. And then I met this really influential man. His name was Skills. He used to work at a youth club down Church Road. And one day he invited me down to come and read to some young men. They were between 7 and 9, and they was at risk of exclusion from school. And that was like a part-time kind of venture. And then my journey just started from there. And then now, when I say to people, oh, I was at the Old Bailey sitting down with the top judges in the country, or I was at number 10 Downing Street, people ask me, how did you go from banging the front line in Stonebridge to banging for Stonebridge in these high profile places? So I have a real passion for young people. I'm going to say I used to work with your son down at Acorn Boys Club. He used to play football for me. And I remember when I saw the video of him was doing his poetry, and I felt a real sense of, wow, look at that, and impact that you can have in somebody's life without actually realizing it at the time. So that's why I love what I do, because I have an impact in people's life. I might not get the rewards for it, but that feeling of, for me, is the best feeling. So I'm quite.
Well, that's good. That's good. That's good. That's really good. Mm.
Yeah. So that's the journey has been one of interest. It's been one of challenge. It's been one of many.
My dad always says to me, you know, when I say to my dad about money, he say, money never meant to spend. I said, yeah, you're right. It doesn't mean to spend, but you meant to have a little bit for a rainy day, innit?
Mr. 16, we can hear you in the background, sir.
Is that 16? Is that 16? 16. Is that 16 in the background?
It's yeah, but he doesn't know he's come through yet. But it's all right while he's sorting himself out.
I'm sorry about that. I'm actually trying to work, and I got another computer screen going and phones going.
That's the life of an entrepreneur.
I'm multitasking.
That's the life of an entrepreneur, Claude.
You take care, yeah?
Who's that, Earl?
That's Earl in the background.
That's 16.
What's up, bro?
16, you're there.
Yo, can you hear me?
What's up, boy?
Yeah, we can hear you. Can you stop interfering with our interview?
What do you mean? What am I interfering with?
I can hear you talking to someone about money.
Yes, yeah. I was talking to my cousin. It was a Jamaican call. You know what I mean? I know you could hear me. You know what I mean?
You need to mute him.
Yeah.
I mean, I could see 3 top people: Scotty Scott, Claude, and Diane Struggles. Yes. What have I missed?
You ain't missed nothing yet, 16.
The juicy part is yet to come, right? So I'm gonna mute you, but you can hear, right? And I don't know what device you're using, but just allow us to get through it. And if you want to leave any questions, there's a chat room there. Put it in there, and I'll ask.
My name is Jean-Claude Martin with Compass. Today, I'm going to show you.
Who's that? Is that you, Claude? That's you in the background again.
Yeah. He's a Pisces, isn't it? That's how them Pisces behave, you know.
Yeah, no. Unruly, man.
Okay.
Anyway, Scotty, thank you for that. You know what, you said something about not being where you are and whether it gets you somewhere or the impact you're having on people. And you use the word influence, and that's going to come up in one of the questions that I asked you. But I'm going, when we get to that question, I'm going to kind of put clarity to that question. So I'm going to hand it over to you, Jean-Claude. How did it all begin for you? You know, was it a bad experience? Was it a good experience? You know, what influenced you, or what influences were there for you?
It's interesting because I wouldn't say that it was any kind of bad experience. I'm the last of 12 kids. So like, you know, I mean, when I came along, like, you know, my parents, like, you know, they were still out there hard working and all that kind of stuff. And I just, you know, came to the realization that I had to be self-sufficient, you know. So, and to me, that wasn't necessarily a bad experience. I think that was just a spark of my motivation, my drive, and my tenacity, you know?
Yeah. Okay. So, you know, when did you know it was time, Claude? I know you said you left here 27 years ago. Is that right? 26 years.
Right. So 26 years. So it's interesting because, like, you know, again, like, you know, I've done the road man thing, the corner man thing at an early age. And it's interesting because by the time I hit 17, I was running, like, you know, a couple of stalls on Wembley Market. I'd done the main Wembley Market, Wembley Stadium, and I was doing some stuff down on the Wembley Market on Lancelot Road. So I just saw changes, like, you know, what was happening with, like, youngsters of my age. Just saw, like, you know, just there was just a different mood on the streets. And, you know, I basically had a decision. I wanted to, you know, continue on a certain path or see, you know, different opportunities. So that was about, like, when I was like about 19 years old. I opened up Rawhide Leather and Clothing in Harlesden. That was my first brick and mortar freestanding store. Just started doing regular retail, like, you know, to my friends and, like, you know, whoever was shopping, driving up and down Craven Park Road. And it just, yeah, so I'd say from the age of 17, I just knew that I was destined to go on a different path, you know, but it didn't necessarily come through, like, negative experiences, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. So when you decided to leave, did you leave by yourself? What connections did you have in Atlanta?
Oh, so when I first left United Kingdom, I went to Los Angeles. I've done 15 years in Los Angeles. Unfortunately for me, I had a brother that was living out there. So that was like, you know, immediately I got a roof over my head. The rest is up to me, you know, again, and it goes back to the saying, you know, you can take a horse to the water, but you can't force him to drink it. So I felt like, you know, as far as like the clothing store, that elevated into me, you know, again, wholesaling to manufacturing to designing for certain celebrities. I was designing like made to measure suits for Lennox Lewis, Linford Christie, Jeff Schumann, who's now big from what I understand, but now return might call them. But like, you know, I was linking up everybody, all the artists then that used to come in from Jamaica, that hit Rawhide, you know, get a suit, you know, I designed them a suit on the spot. They come back in 2 days, pressed up, ready, it's ready for them to go. So that was my come up, like, you know, through the fashion industry. And I just saw that the UK was like, you know, a relatively small market. And at the same time, I didn't have Black influential individuals to look up to gain inspiration. Everything you had to get self-taught. You know, I mean, there were certain individuals that, you know, had positions of influence, but like, you know, they weren't sharing the knowledge. So, you know, when I was looking further afield, specifically to the US, where my brother was, like, I mean, hey, like, you know, definitely the land of opportunity. There's definitely been struggle for the Black man out here, but at the same time, you know, if you got a focus and a determination, there's no glass ceiling. There's no glass ceiling in the United States.
Wow. Thanks.
If that makes any sense. It's not a walk in the park. I mean, again, you have to have a certain mindset and a certain consciousness, because nobody's giving away anything and you ain't picking anything up off of the street. You know, but I just felt that there were opportunities that I could access being in the United States, where there are certain influential Black people within certain industries. I mean, it increases my chances to become successful myself.
Yeah.
You know, if you're in England and there's only 5 men at the top, are you going to be the 6th? Who knows? If you're in the United States and there's 200 men on the top, well, you know what I'm saying? The numbers speak for themselves.
Wow. Scotty, I'm going to put this question to you. The words that was key in what Claude was saying was this mindset thing. How do you feel about having this, what does having this strong mindset mean to you? Can you relate to that mindset?
Yeah. It's a mindset, it's a determination, it's a place where you get to. You don't just get there. You have to go through lots of adversities, lots of struggles, lots of challenges, and it changes your thinking. It changes the way how you view the world. So your mindset becomes more focused. You become more focused on trying to be the best version of yourself. So you're not competing with anybody else or looking at anybody else. You're just taking time out and almost reflecting to yourself, like, what is the best version of me? And how can I reach to that place where I want to be? And then it's influences as well. So like, I'm Jamaican, my family's from the Caribbean. So the mindset, when I look back to like my grandparents, when I understood their struggle and even my mum's struggle of actually, they had nothing, but their mindset was so strong. They had a belief in self that their mindset was just really firm. And I think that for us as second generation, we became a little bit weak, and our mindset about who we are as people kind of got lost. But then when you reconnect with that sense of self, your mindset becomes more strong. Your inner resilience, your belief in self, in actually, who am I? What am I about? How can I achieve the goals that I want to achieve? And you become more focused. So along the way, you're going to lose a lot of things. You're going to lose friends. Yeah. You're going to lose contacts. You're going to lose certain things. But those losses are not losses. It just means that at that point, you have to evolve and reach to something else. And it's almost like you get to a higher level, and then you become more in tune to yourself. And it's really kind of weird, because when you meet people with that mindset, sometimes people think they're quite selfish individuals,
right?
But they're not. Their mindset is really actually, I'm focused on what I need to do. Right. So a positive mindset, it comes after many challenges, many things that you go through, and time by yourself and just developing your core resilience. And then that's when you strengthen your mind, where you can't really get knocked off guard or off balance. You become like what we call, you're a soldier now. You're moving a certain way. You're a soldier because you know yourself. So when I see people that are soldiers, sometimes, very rarely do they move with people. You always see them by themselves. You go out and so forth, they're by themselves. You see them in their car, they're by them. So they have people that they have around them, but they're usually by themselves because their mindset has put them in that place. They've got that strength. So mindset is a really something that you have to develop.
Can I just say on the tail end of that, that through conversations that I've had both with male and female, some people are tired of being soldiers. They just want to live now. So I know in our era, and by the people that I'm seeing come on this platform, be a soldier back in the days was like, it was like a high-ranking position. Yeah, but somehow 30 years later, people don't want to be a soldier no more. They want to live now. So how do you differentiate coming from one era where we wanted to be a soldier. It meant the most to us. Where now I'm tired of fighting. I want to live now. Claude, I'll hand that to you.
Right, right. And again, I think it comes back down to mindset. You know, it really depends on what you want to be as an individual, what you feel your purpose is as an individual. Like, you know, and again, as I was saying to you earlier, like, you know, I spoke to Scott, like, you know, an hour before we were going to start, and we were going through it. And I told him I wake up every morning on 10,000%, bouncing off the walls, music playing, because, hey, I got another opportunity to do something. I got another opportunity to make a difference. And there's no limitation to what difference I can make, because I'm a man just like the next man that designed a rocket ship and applied his mind to it. So whatever I apply my mind to, I can accomplish. That's a wonderful feeling to wake up with.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be defeated. It's simple. It's simple. And that's just what's programmed in my DNA. That's the same message and the same excitement that I share with others, because I think it's contagious, and it should be contagious. If we all woke up with that kind of mindset, imagine what kind of world we'd be living in. You know, everybody will be successful.
Yeah.
But again, you know, it just comes down to the individual and like who you think you are. I think I'm special, and not in a braggadocious way, but like, you know, I think I'm special, because if I don't think I'm special, who's gonna come and tell me that I'm special? Comes back down to self-love. I love myself bad. You know, I'm gonna lift myself up. I'm gonna tell myself I'm the greatest, because I'm not gonna sit down and wait for somebody to come and tell me that. I'm my own motivator. You know what I mean? Nobody's handed me anything. I've had to go out and get it. Do you see what I'm saying? So again, boils down to the mindset and the willingness to subscribe to it, because it's real simple. You either want to be positive or you don't. You know?
I feel a lot of passion coming across from you. And the next question is, you kind of both answered it, but I'm going to throw it out there because I'm going to break it up into two. And it basically is, why are you where you are today? And that could be, you know, what motivated you? What were the drivers? And before you answer, that word influence comes up a big deal. And why I love it so much in terms of with you two is, when I first had the conversation with Claude introduced me to Scotty. So you, Scott, were influencing him with your motivation. Yes. And when Claude said to me, this is what Claude said to me: there's someone I want you to introduce, which I think would be good for this platform. And he was like, yeah, he's an ends man, and you must know him. So when he said Scott, I was like, there's only one Scott that comes to mind.
Big man Scotty.
All right. So I'm thinking, boy, you know, you mustn't judge people, because before the shutdown, my man passed my car, and that was the last time I saw him. So I'm thinking, behind the scenes, is he really a motivational speaker? Yeah. So when Claude put your picture, I said, no. So I said to him, which one? He goes, no. So he goes, this is who it is. So when he showed me the picture of you, Scotty, I was like, no, I don't know Scotty. So anyway, I said, you know what? I'm going to add Scotty, but I want you to reinforce it and let him know the conversation we've had and that you've introduced him to me. So when Scotty comes on now and accepts my request and says, hello, Miss Gray, it's me. I was like, what? So I laugh, because the influence that you have had has brought us to this forum. You understand me?
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have known. I don't even see none. I've never seen any of your motivational videos, which I feel saddened to say. But now that I'm a part of your connection, I've gone through them in my own time and seen them like, wow.
And can I just jump in and say something that's really interesting about this? So it's like, when you approached me with the opportunity, right? Definitely, hands down, I wanted to get involved. But I didn't want to just come on, like, you know, this forum and shine for myself and it's me, here I am, Mr. I was like, you know what? Scotty, yeah, there's a next man. There's a next man that you need to get in. So again, a part of the mindset is understanding that your gifts and your blessings, it's not just for you.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean? It's how you impart it onto other people, you know, and give the next man the chance to shine, or, you know, the next man to lend his perspective, you know, and then we come to another level, it comes back down to humility. Do you know what I'm saying? You have to know when to humble yourself. You know, as I was saying to Scotty earlier, you have to know when to turn her back. You know what I mean? And push your friend up the front, you turn her back and just be of support to that. You know what I mean? Everybody wants to be up front. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't want the light to shine on me sometimes. I want it to shine on that guy, but I'm here to support him. You know what I mean? And I think between black males, I'll speak openly, between black males, there's a big disconnect with that. And that's why essentially black communities don't thrive with wealth. You understand? There's a lot of money passing through these communities, but they're not thriving with wealth because the dollars go back out. As soon as money's made in the black communities, they go out 10 times as fast. Do you see what I'm saying? Because man's looking in different directions. You know what I mean? They're not looking to build up and reinforce their garrison around their village. You know what I mean? Because I'm making a little money, I'm going up west now. I ain't gonna support John Claude in Alston with Rawhide. I got money. You know what I mean? I'm gonna jump the 18, hit Edgware Road, walk down to flipping Oxford Street, and like, when I could have like gone to my man, support his business. Do you know what I mean? Whereas like, you know, I had a couple of workers in my shop. I was feeding families. I've been feeding families since I was a youth. You know what I'm saying? So again, it just comes back down to mindset. But like, yeah, you have to be able to you have to willingly want to share your blessings. Do you know what I mean?
And that was what, when you said that, JC, I you know what I'm saying, I could have reached out and hugged you, because it's very rare that you're in a conversation with someone and they want to bring in a next man or woman.
But hey, listen, if I'm gonna lick down a man, I'd rather have a next man standing beside my side rather than come by myself, if you want to put it like that. You know what I mean? So we strong, you see, we strong.
Yeah.
We strong. Together, we got a more impactful message, as opposed to me just sitting there, standing there on my soapbox. It's all about me, 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 me. Can't be about you. And like, you know, whoever else shares that mindset, hey, come on board. You're welcome.
Yeah.
You know, with open arms. But sometimes, you know, again, there has to be that willingness to like, you know, humble yourself and like, you know, see what you can learn. Because as you know, go back to the saying from a long time, each one gonna teach one. You know what I'm saying?
Which brings me to Scotty. The topic was challenges that had you close to quitting. Now, so far, I ain't heard anything. Everything is about motivation and influence, and that's just brilliant. And with where you both are right now, you know, you just said, Claude, about each one teach one, and Scotty's got a platform where he's a chef, yeah. And where's that?
I'm not a chef.
Oh, wait,
Franchise.
turn your hand to things.
Turn your hand to things. I don't know what things. So when we make video, my hand and we make people know, I say, oh, we can turn my hand. That's what Granny used to tell me. Man, I'm
that jerk lamb there. Oh.
Listen.
But no, on a serious thing now. Serious. With the cooking thing, it's a therapeutic thing for me, but it's also a spiritual thing. Because don't forget, part of our history is that you used to have to stand up over fire and watch your mother cook food, and your mother used to have to stand up over fire and watch her mother cook food. But the food prep, they was learning at that stage. So when you're standing up over the fire, you're getting historical stories. You're not just standing up over the fire cooking food, you're having time. So even in this lockdown thing, I've spoken to people and I've said to them, food isn't just about filling your belly. Food is about nourishment in terms of when you eat together, when you cook together, when the family sit down together, things that need to be resolved can be resolved in a way where it's not heavy. It's not a battle because you're sharing something. So and for me, sharing food is almost like sharing love, because you couldn't come to my house and I give you a plate of food and you know that my man put some love in the food, innit? So that means I'm almost sharing myself with you. So food for me is many different guises. It does a lot of things. You see, like when I used to work at Acorn Club, when I first started working there, all the youth them on church shoulders running up and down like they was crazy, like they was mad. But true set, I still had some influence because of the nonsense that I used to do. So I used to put weight on different areas. So some of the youth then would know me like, yo, big man, you know, he does what he does, innit? So because I didn't do that, but I still had that influence of that's what I used to do. And one of the things that turned it around for me, I went Arsden and I bought a Dutch pub. And I remember when we used to go Hilltop Club, there was a chef in there, her name was Gloria. And like us little youths now, when we used to go on the road and teeth people's things and get a little change, we run to Hilltop. And one of the meals that we used to get was one dumpling, and the dumpling was big, son. We used to call it a plate and a glass of pineapple juice. But as youths, we used to love it. So when I started Acorn, I bought a Dutch pot and I started to cook the youth. So the same way our Gloria influenced me with the food, because through that food that she used to provide in Hilltop, she used to always tell us, use a good you, rare, blah, blah. So when I was able, that influence that she had on me, when I was able to influence the young men and the young women that used to come to Acorn, that's how people who influence you. So food, I've got to look at it in two different guises. It's not just about the food, it's the influence, it's the stories that we share. And through that influence, I realized you can touch people and influence them in a way where you're not going to get that reward there and then. So it's later on. So for me, I wouldn't say that I'm a motivational speaker. I wouldn't say that I would just say that I'm a man, I just share my story. My story's interesting. And people are interested by interesting stories. And by sharing that story, it almost plants a seed in someone's mind and influences their day. So when you made contact with me, Diane, it was really weird because I've addressed you, hello, Miss Gray. And you're probably thinking, you know, and then I have to say, hold on, your son used to play football for me at 8. And then the penny dropped. Scotty, Acorn. But until Claude made that link, I would have never influenced your sphere of influence. But it's really weird now how that has happened. And then I think it was last year sometime, every year in Stonebridge, Diane, we have a memorial football game for all of the man them from Arsden that have passed. So there's one of our old friends, his name's Rowan. He's done some redskin.
Yeah, he told me. But
lemon meat,
yeah.
Lemon meat. And anyway, Lemon contacted me last year. And he said, Scotty, I never know you do what you do. And I said, what do you mean? And he said, I've seen some pictures of you in certain places. And so he's asked me to come down to the memorial game if I will open it and do a reading and just talk about myself. And for me, going down there, there's all my community, all the people that I grew up with in Stonebridge. 16 was there, Murray's there, man, and Leonard from Bridge. There was just the whole heap of man. And you know how humbled I was that I was able to go to that place amongst my community, amongst my people, and for them to show me the honor and the respect and the love, and knowing that I could have influenced some people in my community about my journey. So that word influence, we all have it in us, but we influence people in different ways. So there's people that I'm meeting now. We're in this kind of crisis now where we're locked down, and you got people out there now, they're going on YouTube, like all of the DJs, them. I got nothing but respect for them because they're giving us time. And I think influence, if I was to sum it up, influence is the ability to give people time to think, time to pause, time to understand themselves. And that way you influence their thinking. And if you can influence their thinking, that's going to give them that resilience that we spoke about earlier, that mindset, because someone's given me some time to think about myself and for me to think about who I am. So no, I'm not no chef. I just love to cook. And when the lockdown done, I cook up some big food.
Oh, you mean, man? Oh, Claude, I come over.
Scotty's coming to ours and double fronted.
I beat up some lamb and them thing then. While I make some dessert here and some
I'm looking forward to it. But you know, influence is an external thing, yeah? And you either inspire someone or you discourage someone, yeah? And it has a positive and a negative connotation to it. So this is definitely a positive. And if even if we need balance, yin and yang, no matter how we go, up, down, right, left, open, close, you understand me? So with the influence being external and motivation being an internal thing. So even if you, as you claimed, you're not a motivational speaker, your motive is triggered by something internally to speak on the way you speak. And you're not speaking nothing that isn't going to provoke the thoughts of the receiver. You understand me? It's motivating someone to stop, think about where they are, and make a shift in their life. Whether it's today, tomorrow, next year, you do that you influence that in somebody or the people that listen on your platform. So like today, I went on your platform and it was about being complacent. See me, I'll follow you.
yeah, follow me.
Yeah. And all right then, yeah. So complacency, it's like procrastination as well. You know what I'm saying? It's like this comfort zone, which really is a danger zone. And when I heard what you had to say, and I'm curious I want you to share, if you don't mind. You have this little book that you read from.
The book is called 100 Days Happier, and there's a next one called 37 Business Thoughts, and there's a next one called Mindfulness, Everyday Mindfulness. So what I do is in the morning, I have a think about, like I spend 5 minutes with myself, I make a mint tea, I just think about the day before, and then I look through the book and something will resonate with me. And I say, you know what, that's the, and even with the daily thoughts thing, it's something that helps me because we're in a difficult time now with the lockdown, and I needed to find something that would help. So I got my training thing going on where I can train every so often, but I needed something to keep this upstairs kind of ticking. And I said, I'm going to do this. And if it helps somebody, then it makes them think. So it was done in a selfish way because, yeah, I'm sharing this reading because this is what my thought process is. But I didn't expect it to have that influence over people. And it's a small number of people, but I'm touched that people still look at it and yeah, you know what, that resonates with me today. That made me think about something. And that's all I want to try and do, is if I can help a next human being think about them life, think about themselves, then that's, I'm rewarded, because it's not, the joy is not in the taking. The joy for me is in the giving. It's about giving some time. So in the morning when I get up, like, this keeps me going, but it might help somebody else. And I think that's where my mindset is now. So even talking on an entrepreneurial level, last year, I got approached by someone. They had a project that they wanted to run. And the project had kind of 3 streams to it. There was one around working with parents. There was one around training. And there was one around devising some kind of workbook. Now, I had the skill set to do the training, but the other aspects of the project, I didn't. And I immediately thought about people that, okay, that's my strength. That's not. This is my strength. So then I approached some people. There was a young lady that lives over south. She had lots of experience in writing. Her name's Rachel, and like, I'm not academic. And I approached Rachel, can you help me out? And this is what I'm thinking, but I don't know how to put it onto the paper. And then she wrote it, and she did it in a beautiful way. And then she was getting back to me, like, and she was really kind of curious about it. And like, I want to bring her into the kind of work that I do. But she did her bit. Then I approached someone else, Donna. Donna does work with parents. Then I approached my friend Rebecca that I knew from the Youth Offending Service. We put a team together. We've gone to Islington and Haringey Council. We've done the proposal, and then we got the money, and we delivered the project. And this is how the big man upstairs is really kind of good, because while we was delivering the project, City and Islington University heard about it. They applied for some funding to evaluate my project. So now my project is getting researched by students, and we're going to be able to disseminate that information. But that influence that I had, because when I approached Donna and Rebecca and Rachel, it was, this is going to be something good. They didn't feel this is about me. So they knew that they was going to be a part of something. And like what Claude just said, that bridging and bringing people together is paramount. So with your influence, don't be selfish with it. Use it in a positive way. So for me, I'm in Stonebridge. I'm always going to be busy. I'm always going to be over here. But I've worked all over London. And that's what I want to try and do. So with this little platform that I have in the morning, if I can grow it and get people to follow it, and I can influence people, because I want to bring in different things into it. I've got a passion for young people and what's going on with us in terms of our serious youth violence, in terms of mums, in terms of trauma. So like when we come out of this lockdown, a lot of our young people, a lot of people actually, they're going to be traumatized by this. So mental health is something that is big. So if I can influence people to understand that mental health, like if I broke my foot, I go to the doctor and he give me a plaster. If I'm not feeling well, i.e. I feel low, I'm feeling down, I'm feeling certain, and I'm having a difficulty, it's natural. We all go through a spectrum of mental health. So that's something else that I want to highlight around that stigma. Because trust me, when this thing is over, a lot of people are gonna be suffering. Some might suffer in silence, but I want to have an influence to make people know that actually there's things out there, there's people out there. People like yourself, Diane, you've given up your time today. You've contacted Claude, you've contacted me, you've put this together. That advert thing that you built, it was, when you sent it to me, I was saying, this person put some time into this.
Yeah.
She put love into this. There was no way that me and Claude could say, we're not doing, because I could see you had put your time and you wanted to influence some people. So I was really impressed by what you did, and I'm really touched and humbled that you reached out, and I've been able to be a part of this and like just share some of my thinking. And the platform, if we can push it some more and get people to, and then we can influence people in different ways.
And that means a lot to me, and I can't tell you how indebted I am to the two of you for, like I said, accepting the invitation. Do you know what I'm saying? Because you could have said no, but you didn't. And this is exactly what influence is. And I'm influenced by the fact that Claude did that big leap of faith, you know what I'm
Yes.
saying? And even more so, the day we were speaking, I think within an hour or so of me speaking to him, I then see him put out this new, you know, he's influenced by the pandemic that is going on. He also has the fashion side of things behind him. But I hand it over to you, Jean-Claude. Speak about your new enterprise again.
Oh, my new enterprise.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually 10 days old now.
Wow.
Again, having over 30 something odd years experience in the fashion industry. You know, I'd say I've been on hiatus from the fashion industry for a while because I've been focusing on my real estate endeavors in the real estate, you know, arena and stuff. But yeah, I woke up, not Sunday gone, but the Sunday before, and it's like a light came on in my head. And it's like, don't forget, you have big time clothing manufacturer, you know, you got factories all over the world, this, that, and the other. So I decided to come up with a nice quality facial cover mask, nice quality fabric, and you could slide a replaceable carbon filter in the back, right? That was 10 days ago, and I think it's like 3,000 units or something like that. And I'm actually making them in Los Angeles and getting them shipped out here to Atlanta and, you know, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, so basically from 0 to, 10 days, from 0 to $30,000 in revenue on an idea. Do you know what I mean? And again, that's why I got to wake up every morning with this energy, because the simplest idea, if you've clothed yourself with knowledge and information along your life journey, do you know what I mean? If you experience negative or positive, if you just take that and put that in your toolkit, there's going to be a day when you're going to be able to open that bag and just like utilize everything. So all of my 30-year experience led me to, like, you know, coming up with a concept, doing some little quick sketches, because I had to come up with the name for the brand, the logo, and all that kind of stuff. I had to make sure that the factories could actually produce it, the factories could actually deliver it, they could do the screen printing, all that done in 10 days, and it's 30 grand later. I live for that. But again, for me, it's not like, I'm clocking down X, Y, Z amount of bags. I got a mindset that I feel that I can accomplish anything. And that's a mindset that we can all wake up. You know what I mean? You might share that mindset with certain individuals and they're going to tear you down because they're not believers. They're not positive themselves. You know what I mean? That cannot be a hindrance because, you know, as you said, and you asked the question before, at what point did you want to give up? I've never wanted to give up. I've opened up my refrigerator and there's been nothing beer, let alone a light. So I know about hungry. You want to be an entrepreneur? You got to go hungry.
Yes.
You have to.
Yes.
You're going to starve.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You might have a pretty car. You might not even have the gas to put in it, but you got to keep up the profile. This is part of the franchise. Do you know what I'm saying? It might just lead you to the next opportunity. So, you know, as long as you got that self-belief and you've got that goodwill for others, I think the positive energy that you put out, the universe will return in kind. Do you know what I'm saying? I've been literally on hiatus from the fashion industry for maybe about 10 years. I haven't been doing it aggressively. And the minute that I said, you know what, I'm going to do it again, it was like jumping back on a bicycle. And I got orders coming in left, right, and center. I set up the online stores, and I do all of this myself. I taught myself how to graphic design. I taught myself how to do everything. You know what I mean? So I'm self-sufficient. Before, you know, a lot of people come up with ideas. They're just ideas until you execute them. That's when you rain on your parade, but it's just an idea. I'm not going to sit down and discuss an idea with you for 2 hours that you're never going to execute. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to, I don't like putting myself in a position where I'm dependent upon other individuals to execute what I want to do. You know what I mean? Because you know, again, some people will not help you just because they don't want to see you succeed. So that means that you got to clothe yourself with the information and knowledge for you. So anytime you want to do something, you got there and do it yourself. You see what I'm saying? So
and that is exactly it, what you said. Don't sit on that idea. You have to execute it. And it brings me to highlighting how this whole platform started. This is its 5th episode. it was dropped in my spirit April the 1st, and I just ran with it. Yeah. And I just did it. I just put it out there. And the one thing that was the brain behind it is, I know we're in this lockdown season, and I know that people are struggling to cope. And as you said, I want to know, what can I do to reach out to somebody to let them know they're not alone? And the Mind Gym came up. Now, I have another platform, which is a spiritual platform, a religious platform on a Saturday, which is called Giver of Dominion. And but we'll talk about that separately. But I thought about the mind, because I'm all about that, and I have been for as long as I can remember, consciously aware of the stuff that's going in here. You know, people think about their diet. I'm thinking about what's going on up here. And Arthur Fletcher wrote this quote, or coined the phrase that said, the mind is a terrible thing to waste. And that stayed with me from the very beginning when I heard it. And it made me even more conscious of, I don't care about anything else. Like, I need to feed myself mentally with stuff that is going to influence me. And don't get me wrong, I have my days, or had my days, where I would I would give consent to things to erode my head and cause me to stumble. Yeah. But then I started to become influenced by people who had fallen and got back up. I wanted to know how they did it, because their story sounded similar to mine. So I want to know, how did you do it, so that I can be encouraged? Yeah. And that is where and how this platform started. The Soul to Soul is a project that I've got. But then one of my team from off of the Giver of Dominion, we had a speak, and I said to her, this is what I'm doing. And another lady on here, Diane, and she added the spirit side to it. So I was like, okay, cool, I can run with this. So again, the execution, there's no point sitting down with this idea. And one of the richest places in the world is a cemetery, because that's where authors are buried, inventors are buried, all these great cures are 6 foot under, because no one made that move. Yeah. And I don't want to be 6 foot under with this vision, with this dream, or the next invention or the next cure. And I have 4 children. And if it's one thing I've always said to them, please, anything you wake up in the spirit of the moment and think you can do it, go for it. I've never killed their dreams. Never killed their dreams. Yeah. And my youngest is 17, well, to be in June. And I am blessed with 4 amazing children who are the next, you name it, in this world. Yeah, that's how I can speak. So if you want, I'm very ambitious in my statement when it comes to my children. If you know them, then you know I ain't sitting here on this platform and making up no lie about them as individuals. They're professionals. Yeah. And they are going out to give. Nothing about them is about them. It's about sharing.
Right.
I said, this ain't about you. And the sooner you understand that life is about the gift that you've been given and giving it back to the world, then you will realize and appreciate, you know, just how big you are to somebody else, that influence. Yeah. So I'm loving, I tell you, God couldn't have given me 2 powerful men right now on this platform to speak on how you've got to be where you are and the things that motivate you every morning and get you up. You know, the world needs to hear and know that it don't matter where you come from, what your start in life is, it's where you end up.
Right.
Yeah. Because the beauty's in the journey. The beauty's not in the beauty's in the journey. It's the journey that you
Not
take.
the destination.
Not the destination, it's the journey, the things that you learn along the way, the people that you meet and how they influence you. So for me now, even like just spending some time with you this evening is making me think about, actually, have I been complacent? Have I been living the dream? Actually, there's things that have stopped me because that fear, I think fear is a dread thing. Because fear can stop you from, and you know, I don't want to be on my last days and be speaking to my children, my grandchildren, if I have great grand pitney, and say, I wish I did. I wish. No, I want to be able to say, I tried this, and this happened. Didn't make it. I tried this business, or I tried this endeavor, or I tried to go to this, but I don't want to live in that regret. And I think if we can influence people to try, because there's people probably watching us now thinking, there's some things that I want you to try, and I haven't. And the only thing that's stopping me is me. So even this platform now, Diane, Claude, myself, we're on it. It's because Diane wanted to try it. And okay, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 people, it doesn't matter. There's a contentment that you have in your face, Diane, like, I did this. And like, now that and now that we're coming like to like, because I'm aware, I'm part of my job, I'm a therapist. So part of it is I always, not clock watch, but in a counseling session, a client gets 50 minutes. We call it a counseling hour. 50 minutes for the therapy, 10 minutes for you to end and then to write your notes. So I'm always aware. So if something is for an hour, then I know, okay, when we're coming to the end, you almost have to make your participants, your client know, okay, we're coming to the end. How do we summarize and bring this together? So I can see some people watching, because I switched the thing. I never know you can do all this with Zoom, you know. You can switch the thing and see rows of people sitting down and looking at you. And I said, Lord, boy, he said, I brush up myself, man. I look all right. Because, you know, Granddad used to say, sometimes you have to take serious thing and make joke.
Yeah,
but on a serious thing now, there's people watching, and I'm not sure if they have any thoughts or if they have any questions that they might want to share with Claude or myself, because I don't know if we're gonna do this again.
We are.
Would love to do it again, because it's good to talk. It's good to just share some of our self and our time. The greatest gift that we can give to anybody
is ourself, right?
Is our time. Because this hour that I've given to Diane, this hour that I can see a Galaxy S7, I can see a unknown host. This time that we have spent today, we're never going to get this hour back.
Amen.
And we have to spend our time productively and wisely. So the people that have tuned in, they've given us their time. I respect that. I love that. They might want to share a bit of their time with us thinking. So I don't know, is there any thoughts or any questions that anyone has to you, Diane, before?
Okay, so there's a chat room here, and people are on mute because I've put them on mute just to block out the background noise. So I'm going to open.
How do you get to the chat room? How do you get into the chat room?
Are you on your, okay, if you hover your mouse, you'll see at the bottom, there's, it says chat. And then you can just, people can put questions in there. I don't know what. Yeah, there's none at the moment. I'm throwing it out there. But if someone wants to say anything, they can unmute themselves and put the question forward.
Okay, so what time are you going to wrap up? What time are you going to?
We can keep going. That's why I said to you, I'm mindful of an hour, but I'm going to give us 30 minutes window slot for the Q&A. And if people want to stay, they're welcome to stay. Yeah. But I,
Okay.
I have a license for this platform, so I can go on till everybody say bye.
Excellent, excellent, excellent.
Yeah. So
I mean, I got 10 minutes before I got to dive back in. You know, because
okay.
again, it's all about
Yeah,
time
I
slots.
appreciate that. So before your 10 minutes is up, let me wrap up the 2 questions that I wanted to ask, and then I'll throw out the Q&A. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Okay.
the if this given platform is the only opportunity left to transform the mind of another,
Mhm.
what is your message to the world? And I'll start with you, Claude.
Oh, what is my that's a heavy one, Dan. I'll have Mr. Scott answer that first while I ponder on it. Because
What's message to the world?
What's interesting is like, and sometimes you have to know yourself, because if somebody asks you a question and you haven't fully absorbed it, don't just say the first thing that comes out of your mouth. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, I mean, that was a very deep question on many different levels. I've got many different like messages that, like, you know, I could send out there. I mean, you know, I think again, just like, you know, we got to love each other. We got to want to lift each other up. That's the most important thing. We got to realize that, you know, whatever it is that we want to accomplish in life, we can only accomplish so much by ourselves. You know what I mean? We need each other. We need community. Do you know what I'm saying? It goes back to the saying, you know, it takes a village to raise a child. I think we've wandered far off of those kind of philosophies. So I think, like, you know, if we just all, like, you know, take a minute, reflect, and, like, you know, just look at how we can make an impact on the next person's life. And as, like, you know, Scotty said earlier, that's more impactful than somebody doing something for me, is me doing something for them. So, like, you know, just a shift in mindset and, like, you know, just upliftment. That's really where it's at for me.
Scott? Thank
Me?
you. Thank you, JC.
Mhm.
Thank you.
Myself, that question. If
See, I gave you time to ponder, you see?
Yeah, if there's one message that I could influence people with, and this was the only platform that was left for them to hear it, I would say to people, love yourself and believe in yourself, and tell yourself daily that you are somebody. Because when you love yourself, you're able to give love. When you love yourself, you're able to believe in yourself. So in this lockdown that we're in, a lot of people are struggling because they now have to be with themselves.
Amen.
And they don't love themselves, so they find it difficult. They find it to sit down in their house, to take up a book and read, to go in their kitchen and cook. So my message, if this was the last platform, because what I'm hearing from Claude had a love for himself. Diane, I'm hearing from you, you had an internal love for yourself. For me, loving yourself is not vanity.
Right.
Loving yourself is about respecting yourself as I am a human and I deserve
Amen.
the best in life.
Amen.
Yeah? So that would be the last, love yourself. So that's how I would leave it.
I love that. I love that. And that, you know, again, growing up, the men that I grew around, they had to be this man up kind of thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't cry, you can't show your emotions, you know, you're not allowed to hurt. And to hear both of you use that word love, that means we've come a long way.
Oh,
We've come a long way to speak that out aloud.
Yeah. I'm the first one, like, you know, to let, you know, just to, because sometimes it's not even about what you say, it's what you do. Do you know what I'm saying? But there's just this genuineness in my heart. I mean, I do have love for people that do me right. Because if you don't do me right, then, you know, you get the opposite of what the love is. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think it's just very rewarding, man. And as Scotty said, like, you know, cooking food for a man, that's showing a man love. That's coming from your heart. Do you know what I'm saying? So like, yeah, I think, you know, and just vocalizing it, like, you know, even just saying real quick, much love. Yeah, I got love for you, bro. I think, like, you know, it makes relationships a little bit more cohesive. You know what I mean? Because some people do have a problem with expressing their true feelings of, like, you know, gratitude. You know what I mean? You might do something for a person and then not even turn around and tell you thank you. You know what I'm saying? You know, so again, we got to look at ourselves and just get to that point of humility. You know what I mean? And it's a, you know, when we do get to that point of humility, it's like dropping a great burden. I don't feel obligated. Hello, thank you. I'm smiling at people I don't even know. It don't cost me a penny. And you don't have to smile back. It don't mean nothing. But I put my positive energy out there. Hey, what you got to be so happy about? Yo, I'm here. Let's keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Some people can't do that. Why are you so miserable? Why are you so miserable? And then you wonder why you're not being successful. Because, you know, you got too much negative energy that you're harboring that it's not allowing the positive things to come through. You can't, you know, you can't plant good seed in bad soil and expect it to grow. Your body is the bad soil. Your mind, you're trying to plant a good idea in it and it just don't manifest. Your body's corrupt. You're corrupt. You're corrupt with all that negative energy. So nothing good can't come out of that situation. Do you know what I'm saying? So, you know, just upliftment and love and, like, you know, we all good. I mean, I wish we could have some food cooking right now. I'm hungry. You know, where's the bar? Where's the bar? I want to go grab a drink or something like that.
Where's the bar? Where's the
You know
food? I can provide the food.
It's just real.
I can provide the food.
We're real individuals, no airs and graces. It ain't about what I've done and how successful I am. Again, born and raised in Alston, 42 Church Road. Used to have the pulley bag going up and down with my mom. It's just real. But I decided to make a difference. I could have stayed, or I had the opportunity to leave. I believed in myself that I could, like, you know, make an impact in the United States. Nobody showed me the roadmap. It wasn't there. I couldn't see it. Because as they say, faith is believing in things unseen. I couldn't see it.
Amen. Amen.
Yeah. I just went out there. I knew that with my brother in Los Angeles, I had even if it was the corner on the floor, and it was the corner on the floor in my nephew's room, I got somewhere to, like, lay my head and start getting my plan together. Within a year, at the time, Carl Kanai was hot. I was up in his offices showing him my stuff. You know, I got to become, you know, well known in the downtown Los Angeles fashion game. You know, I made some great relationships, which led to, like, you know, when Nelly, that rapper Nelly back in the day, he wanted to launch his clothing line. He needed 100,000 pairs of jeans made, right? Just so happens, my girl was like the merchandiser for Nelly. She came to me, saw what I was doing, gave me the opportunity. Now, being given an opportunity is one thing. Being able to deliver on that is another thing. So, you know, cut a long story short, I produced the first 100,000 pairs of jeans for Nelly, you know, like with his international clothing brand. Now, my thing is, if I didn't decide to leave Alston, that stuff wouldn't be happening in my life. Do you see what I'm saying? You know, I got the opportunity to develop denim for Tommy Hilfiger when he was launching his exclusive H collection. You know, when all these, you know, I got to be around some of the top denim fashion designers from Diesel and Seven for All Mankind and True Religion and all them top shakers and bakers in the LA fashion industry. I was amongst them. Do you know what I'm saying? And, like, you know, I was going off with my own steam. They recognized talent in me and lifted that up. But my whole thing, you know, I say that all to say, if I didn't leave Alston NW10, do you see what I'm saying? If I didn't have faith and belief in myself, I know I wouldn't be a corner man now. I'd be doing something. But still, like, you know, circumstances could be a lot different. You know, England, and as I was saying to, who was I saying? I said to both yourself and Scott, you know, I was just born in England. You know, my parents are Jamaican. I got Jamaican blood in me. So, you know, I was just born in England because, like, you know, and again, the things that influenced me as a youngster, in school, they don't teach you your cultural history. You know, they was trying to teach me about Tudor and Victorian, and I'm like, that's nonsense. That don't mean nothing to me. That's not inspiring me. Do you see what I'm saying? So I always kept on looking for new challenges and looking for, you know, different opportunities to educate myself on different things. You know, everything I know is pretty much self-taught. You know, our minds are a sponge. If we want to assimilate things, you know, we can assimilate. It's quite easy, actually, but you got to have the mindset to do it. You know what I mean? It's like when we're born, we're like a blank hard drive, right? Everything that we know today is all the experiences that we've downloaded into our minds, do you know what I'm saying, that make us who we are today.
And I think that's important for us to understand that. And you know, while Claude was talking, I was thinking, there's a song by Price, American artist, and we used to go to the raves and I used to play the song all the time, and I didn't really understand the lyrics, but the chorus of the song is love will set you free, and that love for self will set you free from fear. It will set you free from self-doubt. It will set you free from bondage. It will set you free from not being and not living your best life to actually.
Amen.
So, you know, there's so much inspirational people that I'm seeing on the internet now. Like all the people that do the personal training, all the people that log on to their Zoom and they sit with their tutor and they love themselves enough to know that at 11 o'clock, I got my class. I'm doing that because I love me and I know that I need that. For the people that at 7 o'clock in the morning and go for their walk, they love themselves enough to make that sacrifice. So, you know, like, I want to reiterate what I said. I'm really humbled and touched that you reached out there. And Claude, it was really good having this kind of conversation and actually knowing that my little thing that I do influence someone across the pond. That's what we say in England, isn't it?
Yeah.
They're across the pond. That's not a pond. That's a big piece of water. A whole heap of water, that's in it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
So I'm aware. I'm always going to be aware of time and so forth. So I'm always mindful of people. So I'm mindful of the people that's in there, that we've got some time left. They might want to make a comment or say something. And I just wanted to give them that opportunity because I know soon I have to make a jump in the whip. I have to go up to that area code. So, Diane, you do your thing. We have 10 minutes. If there's anything that anybody wants.
If there's anyone who wants to ask, I'll unmute and you can fire away.
I want to ask. What them put up them hand like school picnic?
They can, but I don't know if they know. Is there anyone who would like to ask any questions? You can unmute yourself. If you don't, you can put a chat. You can put your question in the chat.
That's still your son, and that's your opportunity for you to see your son. Yeah, but you making that point don't make no sense.
Okay, there's some personal business going on there.
Some person I like.
Right. Yes.
Can I make a comment?
Of course you can.
You can't see me because I don't know if I've done the video thing right. But I just want to say I found this really interesting. It was so positive, and I definitely would like to come back and listen to other things that you've got in the future. And I just wanted to make a comment on something about having that kind of positive mindset. So I agree with both of the people that you've interviewed about having a positive mindset. I think consciously what we need to think about as well is healing, because a lot of people go through so many things in their life, and yes, they want to have self-love and they want to develop themselves, but unless we go through some kind of healing process, we just have these blocks that we don't understand why they're there. So I think that would be something really interesting to maybe talk about in the future.
Okay, can you see the chat on your screen?
Yes.
All right. Personally, if you go in the chat and just there's where you can leave me a direct message as opposed to everyone. Just introduce who you are.
Will do.
And then I can keep you in the loop for future events. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you so much. But it's been absolutely fantastic. It's been kind of a brilliant hour, and I feel that kind of like it's just gone so quickly because it's all been so interesting. So thank you all. It's been fantastic.
That's okay. And just to let you know, this platform is every Wednesday between the hours of 7 and 8. It could go over, but you can join us here. Same password, same ID, same password, and you'll definitely enjoy the topics that we open up to, and healing is definitely one. Last week's platform was about confronting your fears, and Scotty spoke about that, and I gave out some activities or tasks, should I say, mental tasks to jog one's memory, or thought-provoking tasks to make you go inside, because even though we're having to stay inside, and Scotty mentioned it earlier, and so did Claude, we have to journey inward, because it starts with self. Yeah. So I'm glad to hear that feedback, and definitely the platform will be continuing next week Wednesday. I haven't decided as to what the topic is, but I can assure you that that healing that you spoke about covers so many different aspects, and we will look forward to meeting you next week Wednesday. But like I said, leave your information inside the chat room, and I will keep you in the loop. And yeah, so thank you. Is there anybody else?
Can I just say thank you to Scott and Jean-Claude and Diana, amazing. So let me tell you what I've got on. It says love on here. I'm on that journey. So I know what love is. I had 3 amazing people that I've lost. I know they're watching over me. So without going into all of it, so things around here that says be your own kind of beautiful. My husband chose love doesn't have to be perfect. Life doesn't have to be perfect to be beautiful. I'm looking at something up there saying love is a journey, not a destination. So all this thing about self-love. So I've actually plucked up the courage to do my own little videos in the morning. Last Tuesday, I started doing exercises, but I've got something that I need to get down. I go to the park, I do meditation. I've got my Bluetooth speaker, my Sony speaker, because music is medicine to the soul. Yeah, and I do exercises. Diana's seen my little videos. I'm trying to team. Yeah. So I hope they're reaching out to people, but it's not about self, because it's about helping whoever. I will do anything I can to help people. I grew up on love. My dad used to own houses and cars. My dad used to do anything. And my husband was Briggy. I don't know if any of you know Briggy. I lost him in 2018. Yeah, he was a music man as well. Yeah, my mum was a beautiful, classy lady. 3 angels I've got watching over me, so I know what true love is. Not everybody does. We can teach them. Those of us that know, we can teach them. We can share love. It's not about self. It's about working together. And Diana, thank you so, so much. So I love what you guys are about, and I look forward to hearing more about you.
Thank you, Z.
Thank you. And don't forget to share it. Press that share button on the Insta thing or whatever this thing is. You press share and it go in the sky, then it got to people's phone and people press something, then them just looking at the camera, then you can say, oh, leave our people. What a weird technology goodie. Anyway, I have to make a splurt. So thank you for tuning in, Diane. Thank you for inviting me. I've got to make a splurt because I have to go down the road quickly and do something for the march. So.
No, that's fine. No, I just want to say thank you both. Let me just screenshot this because someone left a message and I can't type quick enough. And when I shut down, even though it's recording, I just need to get that so I can get back in contact with them. Guys, thank you both.
Hold on. D, can I just say, I know
16.
all 3 of you, yeah, and I'm proud of all 3 of you. You know what I mean? I know all you 3 of you are a long, long time.
Yes,
you know what I mean? And I'm proud of all of you. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, because that's what we don't tell people. I'm proud of you guys. You know what I mean? I watch your journey, the 3 of you. You know what I mean?
Yes, 16.
You know what I mean? Just keep doing what you're doing. Keep believing what you're doing. And, you know what I mean? Just keep the love. You know what I mean?
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I have to let it be known that's my bestie there. Yeah, that's my
Yeah.
bestie, right? That is the guy,
My
my shoulder that I lean on, you know, and
Foundation.
to be here and hearing that. And as he said, all three of us, he has got a story with all of us individually. And it's just something I said, I know you got to go, Scott, but what I wanted to say, for every person that knows each of us on this platform, and we know about 1,000 people, there's 1,000 versions of each of us.
For real.
Because everybody, yeah, think about it. Because everybody has a different perspective or perception of who we are. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
So on that note, I'm going to let you all go. And it's nothing but love and everything but love that I have for you.
Thank you, everyone, for joining.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Have a good evening. See you later.
And I'll speak to you soon, guys. Thank you, Claude. Thank you, Scotty, and everyone else who joined.
Thank you, everyone.
Love and light, man. We're out of here.
All right.
Take care. Bye-bye.